Here we are with the express event changes over at one of the bays. The reason for some of these changes is going to be to allow any event to go without having to actually print cards, but you're also going to be able to join an event if you already have an existing membership with a playing card. All right, so you can see we changed a few things here at the staff role menu. I just swiped my staff card, entered my PIN, and logged in. We've kind of lumped the actions into two buckets, one being golf services, which includes the extend time, move bay, reserve bay, and the new one, which is express events. Now it's only showing up green and available because there's actually events in the system. If there are no events, it would actually show up gray, so you wouldn't be able to actually reserve the bay for an event. All right, so I clicked it. I'm going to grab one of my events. Those will show my events for the day, and it's going to ask me to select the number of unnamed players to add. I'm going to go ahead and choose 3 to start out. And it's going to allow me to confirm it, and I can add additional member cards at any time. So it's going to take me to my normal game selection screen. I'm going to start Top Golf. It's going to load for a second. Going to give me the explanation of the game, and you'll see I now have 3 generic players for my event. All right, now I'm going to add a player to the event that actually has a current membership card. So I'm going to click Add Player. It's going to ask me to swipe the card to join, and it's going to add the player after they submit the message there. So now you can see I have 3 event players plus an existing member in Yoda. All right, so now I'm going to add another player that doesn't have a membership. I'm going to add them in, add without card. I accept, and now you have player 4. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and remove a player. No different than we normally would. Same action, you remove a player. Player 4 is now gone. When I go ahead and add another player, what you're going to see is player 4 is now gone because player 5 now occurs. So it's going to continuously go as you add and subtract players and add players to bays. It's going to basically go from 1 all the way up into the number of bays you've actually selected. All right, the other thing we changed here is the time remaining option for events. So I'm going to click my time remaining, and you'll see there's the time remaining on that scheduled event. If I try to extend my time, I'm always going to get this error message that's going to say you need more time. Please see your bay host to extend your time. You'll no longer be allowed to extend your time for events. The bay host is going to have to come over, or whomever's running the event. It might be a manager, an EA. Someone's going to actually have to comp their time. So if I do want to comp their time, I'm going to swipe my staff card. I'm going to enter my PIN so the menu comes up. Now you see I can extend time, and it's going to treat it as a comp, and the reason code is going to be extend event. All right, so now that bay has had a 15-minute time extension, and it's going to get tracked under the events. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and choose end game. I want to play something else. And I'm going to come to my event screen, which is going to allow me to view the event leaderboard. I can share the game. I'm going to go ahead and click play again. And I'm going to select a new game here. We're going to try Top Chip. It's going to go back. Same normal setup we've always had. Now I'm going to come, you'll see I've got my players, 1, 2, 3, number 5, and Yoda are in. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and end the game. It's going to wrap up, and it's going to bring me back here. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and play again. And this is generally the same setup for the events. Now the one thing we did change is if somehow the bay got cleared or the guests logged themselves out. So we're going to go ahead and click Clear Bay. There is a recovery mode built in. So, okay, so the bay is now clear. Whoops, guests logged out. Something happened. We had to clear the bay. Swipe your staff card. You're going to enter your PIN. And you're going to go back to the Express event. You're going to choose your event again. And the system will ask you which players would you like to add back in. Okay, we only want to add Yoda and player 4. So we're going to unhighlight the rest of the players. We're going to click Next. And we're going to confirm that we want to add only those 2 members back to the bay. And you'll see the members at the bottom of the screen. I can choose my game. And I'm going to play. And now you'll see I'm back to the game screen. Now I can dispense balls. Hope these changes help out with the execution of our events. They're going to speed up your process. You will be required to give the guest a coupon for a free lifetime membership card. If you didn't print any cards for the events, any cards that get printed for the events will be turned into lifetimes automatically. Any non-card print members will actually be deleted from the system. And in order for that guest to get a free lifetime membership, you'll issue them a coupon and they'll come back to the front desk or redeem it online. As always, if you need help with any of these changes, please reach out. Let us know at helpdesk@topgolf.com with any of your questions, feedback, any issues you have. Once again, we thank you for understanding the changes, and we hope this helps the site operations run a little bit smoother. Thank you. Okay, here we are for the changes to the admin portion of the event, Express events, and the cardless events. So I'm going to choose my event management after I've logged into Venus here. All right, so now you'll see add an event, search events, or return to home. I can search for my events if I want to by event number, event name, event date. Let's go ahead and add a new event. So the event name is, we're going to call it whatever's on your VEO, so that way they correspond. My start date, what's picked today. My start time, I'm going to scroll down the list and pick my start time here. Let's do 5 p.m. And then my event length is going to be determined by the amount of time that the guests for the events will actually be allowed to play in the bay. So if I only select 2 hours, that's the maximum amount of time they're going to get in the bay. And as we discussed earlier, they won't be able to extend their time. So I'm going to choose my 2 hours. The bays sold, it needs to be a number between 1 and the number of total bays at your site. So if you have, for instance, 102 bays, you couldn't sell 104 bays, and obviously you couldn't sell 0. So the bays sold at least needs to be 1, and then whatever, or in between whatever the maximum number of bays at your facility, because every site's a little bit different. So I'm going to choose 4. Now the number of cards to print. If I leave it blank, it's going to not print any cards. If I choose the number of males or females, let's kind of do both. So I'm going to do none. I'm going to create my event. I'm just going to leave it blank if I want to. And now you'll see there's the event I just made for 5 o'clock today. And if I go and edit it, it's going to show me my details again. I'm going to save it. Now let's do one to print some cards. So let's add an event. I'm going to call it whatever you want, whatever's on your BEO. Start date, my start time will be 10 o'clock tonight. It's going to be for 1 hour. I'm going to do 3 bays sold, and I'm going to do 3 male guests. So if I choose the number of cards to print, those cards will in turn be lifetime members from the minute you print them out, and they will have the same characteristics as a lifetime. If the members an express event where do not print a card and they're entered in at the bay kiosk, the event member will then get a coupon to redeem either online or at the Let's Play desk in turn for their free lifetime member, because remember, they won't have a card to kind of trade in to get their free membership. So once I submitted the number of cards I want to print, it's going to ask me if I want to do generics or if I want to put in the names of the players. I'm going to click continue. So I want to print the cards. Yes, it's going to take me to the same sort of menu I have done before. All right, you'll see my events have now come up. If I do need to edit my event, let's say I need to add in some players to this one, and I want to print them some cards. Let's say they decide they wanted 1 card. I'm going to add the member card, and I'm going to leave it as player 1, and it's going to be Miss. Now it's going to ask me to print the card. Same process I always go through. All right, so those are the changes from the event admin. Anytime you enter your event in here, it'll now show up at the concierge station when you reserve for an event, as well as the events you'll be able to select from at the bay to make an express event. Hope these changes help speed up the event process and make it a little bit easier to manage and easier for the guests to kind of navigate around through the events. As always, send your questions, your concerns, your comments, or any issues you may have to helpdesk@topgolf.com.